Welcome to Game of Roses. This is PaceCase.
This is Bachelor Clues, and today we have a very special episode. It's Thanksgiving, so we're doing a little episode about all the things we're thankful for this past year, as well as we're going to do a rundown of Dancing with the Stars, the history of our beloved game, The Bachelor, in that program, which has now culminated in something quite amazing. I'm sure you'll agree.
But before we get into that, Clues, one piece of business. Mm-hmm. Guess what movie I saw yesterday?
Wicked? Nice. No spoilers. I haven't seen the last third of it.
Oh.
I know.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
I'm not going to spoil. And look, I had seen the musical when I was probably 11 or 12 years old. And I remember leaving that musical and being like, that was the best musical I've ever seen. And let's just say that's how I felt leaving the movie. I was like, oh, that's the best movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, the first 2/3 are fantastic.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to love the last third too.
I know. I never even got to see Jeff Goldblum, and I assume he comes in the end.
Spoiler.
There was a medical spoiler. I mean, he's in the poster. I know he's in the movie. I can only assume he plays the Wizard of Oz. He just is some guy.
He's kind of an extra.
Hi, I'm Wicked. That's my name. Don't wear it out. That's my Jeff Goldblum. Thank you.
That's a really good impression.
Here all day.
Like just from the first scene, I was like, holy shit. Like,
yeah, it's beautiful. Visually stunning. The music's great. My big takeaway from it was Ariana Grande.
One.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. I thought that could have been done a little better maybe, but Ariana Grande
perfect.
Blew me mind. She is hilarious. I can't believe how funny she is.
I think she should win Best Actor for this performance. And I think Wicked should win Best Movie. And if it doesn't, I feel like this is just an injustice. Right. I mean, okay, it's now tied
Smile
between
2
Doom
came out
2,
this year.
Challengers, and Wicked
what
for
about
Best
Smile
Film
2?
of the Year. Smile 2? What's that?
I'm just kidding. It's a horror movie. Anyways, I'm glad you saw it. I'm going to see the last third of it probably when it comes out on streaming now. I can't imagine that I'm going to go
I'm going to go see it again.
Oh, no shit. Maybe I'll try to walk into the end of it.
So good.
There was a medical emergency.
I literally wept during maybe 6 of the songs.
Oh, wow. Powerful.
Yeah.
PaceCase tears.
It was amazing.
Well, I'm glad you saw it.
I can't wait for you to watch the last thirds because there is,
Yeah, I'm looking very forward to it. And then there's a whole other movie. They split it into 2 movies. There's going to be a Wicked 2 coming out at some point next year, I guess.
The last song that plays at it is the song before the intermission in the musical. Mm-hmm. My friends who saw it with me thought that was the whole first book. And I was like, oh no, that's just part 1, baby.
Get that money, double that money. Why get paid once when you can get paid twice for the same thing?
But then they get to just kind of live in it, you know, like live in the scenes, explore like the comedy of it. Like Ariana Grande. Oh my God, she was perfect. Yeah. The little bit when just trying to change the dress. Mm-hmm. They like sat in that. And I really like that about a part 1 is that you don't do that if you're trying to cover all of every single scene from the musical. Right. And it was so fucking funny.
Yeah, she's really funny. I think she has a big future ahead of her as an actress now because of this movie.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait for it.
What can't she do? And there was a little nod to how she gets carried around everywhere. I loved that.
Yeah, she was great. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And now let's move on to our Thanksgiving Day special. First, we must say that we are thankful for one Joey Graziadei.
Z's.
The Z's. The big Z's won that Mirrorball. He won Dancing with the Stars. He is the first bachelor in the history of our great species who has ever done this feat. The first bachelor, I'll repeat. Not the first person from the Bachelor franchise, but the first bachelor. And we thought, before we get into our...
Unbezeezable.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Thanks.
Before we get into our big list of the things we're thankful for, we're going to run down a list of all the various Bachelor players who have appeared in Dancing with the Stars, when that happened, and what their outcome was, just so we have the full breadth of the history of this interrelated relationship between The Bachelor and Dancing with the Stars. It all started back on season 1 of Dancing with the Stars in 2005 with one Trista Sutter, your very first Bachelorette. Now, on that season, there were 6 couples, 6 dancers partnered with professional dancers. Out of 6, Trista Sutter came in 6th. She was the first person kicked off that season. So it didn't bode
the
well.
Injustice.
But things turned up after that.
I hope she gets redemption in World's Justified Warrior. World's Toughest Test Warrior.
Special Forces World's Toughest Test.
Special Forces.
Wowee.
Wowee indeed. However, we did not stop the Dancing with the Stars Bachelor relationship after that. We had Melissa Rycroft. You might remember her as the ring winner who had her ring revoked by Jason Mesnick on The Bachelor Season 13's reunion special. This former Source Girl Dallas Cowboys cheerleader came in 3rd place on Season 8 of the dance competition. She then returned for the All-Star Season 15 in 2012 and won the Mirrorball trophy.
An almost immediate course correction. Trista Sutter knocked out in last place. Rycroft comes in. She kind of sees how to do it. Okay, I got 3rd place. Put me on the All-Stars. Domination. Next up, we have
incredible
Bachelor.
I mean, remember her hoojus? We should have seen it coming.
Oh God, they were beautiful. Yeah, they weren't technically perfect, but the flourishes she had on her hoojus. Oh my God. We'll never see something like that again, I don't think. She's a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
I think we should maybe only cast cheerleaders. Remember charities like
and gymnasts.
Something handspring? Yeah.
Yeah. Back handspring into a hooju. Our next Bachelor player that came into Dancing with the Stars was none other than the first Bachelor to ever do it, Jake Pavelka. He was the season 14 Bachelor. He competed on season 10 of Dancing with the Stars in 2010, partnered with Chelsea Hightower. They were the 5th couple to be sent home. That's about week 4, I think he might have made it to.
On the wings of love. Speaking of love, the next player to compete in Dancing with the Stars was Goldini, Sean Lowe, the season 17 Bachelor. In 2013, joined season 16 of Dancing with the Stars, dancing with champion Peta Murgatroyd, and they were eliminated during week 7. Pretty far.
Yeah. They skipped one Pablo, but the very next Bachelor, Chris Soules, also competed on Dancing with the Stars in 2015, and he was partnered with Whitney Carson for season 20, and they started, although he started rough, this says the duo came in 5th place. Not bad, not great.
I can't believe they skipped Juan Pablo.
I can. You kidding me? After the final
After
rose?
that edit, yeah. You know what? I'll let you do this next one, Clues.
Oh, they skipped Ben Higgins and landed from Chris Soules' season 19 of Bachelor to season 21 of The Bachelor. That's, of course, Nicholas Vial. Vial headed to the dance floor in 2017 for season 24. He also partnered with Peta Murgatroyd, came in 6th place. Not great.
Our next player to enter the Stars is Grocery Store Joe, aka Grocery, became a fan favorite after his time on season 14 of The Bachelorette and season 5 of Bachelor in Paradise. He then joined season 27 of Dancing with the Stars in 2018, but he and Jenna Johnson were sent home in 8th place.
Now, this is where things take a turn. The very next player from our beloved game is the Beast, Hannah Brown. She, of course, was the season 15 Bachelorette. She was a pageant queen. She was on season 28 of Dancing with the Stars in 2019, just before the pandemic. She was partnered with Alan Burstyn. It was an emotional season, and she took home the Mirrorball, the first Bachelor player to do it in a regular Dancing with the Stars season, a non-all-star season. Congratulations, Beast.
Now, that was, of course, impressive. However, something arguably more impressive came from our next player. Kaitlyn Bristowe, the one true GOAT. After becoming the season 11 Bachelorette, Bristowe was open about wanting to be on Dancing with the Stars. However, in 2017, she claimed that Dark Emperor Fleiss, the show's creator, Mike Fleiss, told her she wasn't allowed to, despite being offered a spot. Years later, when her season re-aired as part of The Bachelor, the greatest seasons ever in 2020, ABC gave her an official offer on that show, and she accepted. She then won season 29 after the incredible joint parasocial plays between her and Jason Tartick. I mean, I'll never forget that. That season got me the most interested in Dancing with the Stars I've ever been. Mm-hmm. Not that I watched it, but I was loving the parasocial content.
Looked at the box scores. Now, that was back-to-back Dancing with the Stars seasons that had two Bachelorette champions. Hannah Brown and Kaitlyn Bristowe were champions of season 28 and 29. Back-to-back. Utter dominance.
But that perseverance from KB to get on it years after she's lead.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, immediately after Kaitlyn Bristowe on season 30 of Dancing with the Stars, of course, they welcomed another Bachelor player, Matt James, the 25th Bachelor. And they did not win the Mirrorball trophy. Him and his partner, Lindsay Arnold, finished in 12th place.
I don't know how many places there are, but that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, not good.
Next up, we had Gabby Windey, the season 19 Bachelorette, competed with Val Chmerkovsky, sorry about these names, during season 31 of the hit competition series, finishing in second place behind TikTok star Charli D'Amelio. Hard to beat that.
Of course, hands down, everybody knew as soon as she was cast, she has to win. Mm-hmm. We then had Charity Lawson. She was the season 20 Bachelorette, who got engaged, of course, to Dotun Olubeko, sorry. And she appeared on season 32 of Dancing with the Stars. And then she secured a spot in the 5-person finale, but came in 4th.
And finally, we have Joey Graziadei, our season 28 gayest player Bachelor, reunited with his ex-paramour, Jenn Tran, inside the Dancing with the Stars ballroom for season 33. While Tran went home mid-season, Graziadei has made history, becoming the first Bachelor leading man to make it to the Dancing with the Stars semifinals. And then, ultimately, this week, win the Mirrorball.
Absolutely incredible.
Congratulations.
Congrats to the big Z's. We hope that this potentially will usher in a new era of Bachelor dominance. We are looking for some player to come out of Grant Ellis's upcoming season to potentially be the Bachelorette, and then I'm looking for her to win the Mirrorball this year.
Jenn Tran was also notably a last-minute addition to the season 33 cast, partnered with Sasha Farber following her dramatic breakup from her ring winner, Devin Strader. And they got high scores for their spooky Halloween nightmares contemporary routine, but were sent home during week 7.
Yeah, they clearly gave Jenn Tran that invitation because of what they did to her on the After the Final Rose. There has never been a season that had 2 Bachelor people in it until now. Mm-hmm. That's also historic. And we know why they did that.
Yeah.
Because they know they screwed up. All right. That's it. Congrats to the big Z's. Now let's move on. We put together a list, PaceCase and I, today, of the things we have been most thankful for with regard to Gore, with regard to reality TV, Bachelor Nation over this past year. We know we're in a spot right now where, not everything is great, But there are a lot of things this past year that we're very thankful for here in the pit. And so we just wanted to go through a few of them, and hopefully everybody out there has some things they're thankful for too. I think specifically in times like these, it's important to remember not everything is terrible.
Honestly, like just creating the list made me remember so many more things than like immediately came to mind. You know, it's like,
of course.
Oh, wait, 18 amazing things have happened.
Our number, like, I thought there were only 17, but there's 18.
I was looking for 10.
Yeah.
Our number 18 thing that we were most grateful for is Joey Graziadei. He had his perfect Bachelor season. He had the perfect cast on that season. We had so many professional players, Maria, Daisy, I mean, unreal. And we also have him winning Dancing with the Stars and his ring winner, Kelsey Anderson.
And her father. Grazie gave us all of that.
Zaddy.
Yeah, Mark Anderson, who obviously was on Golden Bachelorette. We also have on this list the first golden wedding pre-Stain on Love. Remember, back in early January, Gary Turner, the first Golden Bachelor, and his ring winner, Teresa Nist, were, I would say, coerced, I would say paid to marry one another. Again, January 4th, his season ended in November of 2023. And then they were married on January 4th of 2024, and it ended in utter disaster. But when it was happening, when that wedding happened, God damn it, it was a good time.
And it was historic. They did the whole special, which was super fun and like much more entertaining
proposed on that special to Mandrell.
I mean, that's the real lasting marriage that's going to come from that special.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Our number 16. Call her daddy. This behemoth of a podcast became the de facto Bachelor franchise promotional podcast this year. They should have had Joan go on it, but they had Jenn Tran go on it. They had Maria Georges go on it. You know, we see this for the other franchises as well. She's getting the biggest people from Love Island. And this is so important for the show to stay relevant. You know, like that is such a huge, especially female audience. And it just shows that Bachelor's still relevant. That's what the Dancing with the Stars thing tells me as well.
Absolutely. Of course. I don't think it is losing relevance, even though the ratings of Golden Bachelorette have kind of tanked and everything that happened at the end of Jenn Tran's season happened. I don't think it's losing relevance. I would also say, with regard to this Call Her Daddy thing, what the Bachelor franchise right now should be doing is looking at Call Her Daddy as a blueprint. They should pull someone from within the franchise, let's say Maria Georges maybe, and give her her own official Bachelor Nation podcast where you pay her well and you produce it well. It can't be an afterthought where you're just like, oh, just have the people who went on the show go do their interviews. Yes, that, but also have her interviewing a wide array of different people from pop culture and maybe coming close to a Call Her Daddy type show. I think The Bachelor, if they really got their heads out of their asses, could do that. It's right there. The blueprint is there. Hopefully they'll do it. But I agree. I love seeing this giant podcast take note of Bachelor Nation and say, please come on my podcast. Come, Maria Georges was supposed to announce her Bachelorette crown on that show, if you'll remember, and instead it just became an interview.
Yes.
But I think for me, it just like elevated Bachelor in a way that it really hasn't been in the podcast world yet.
We saw Joy Al on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Call Her Daddy interviewed Kamala Harris, you know?
I know.
It's like Kamala Harris and the Bachelor people. Next up on our list, number 15, document presentation. We had the teaser clip openings that started with Golden Bachelor consistently. We had no real villains. We had sisterhood and brotherhood being promoted in all of the seasons. And we had no back-to-back document nights or weeks, which is
that true?
I am super grateful for.
They never Monday, Tuesday'd us? I thought they did once. Maybe I'm wrong.
They didn't. What I mean is they didn't do a season of it. Right. Like VIP like and Golden Bachelor.
Yes, I agree. I mean, unfortunately, part of this too, though, is we didn't get a Bachelor in Paradise. I'm not thankful for that. But I thought the presentation was better this year. It does seem that they're taking more care with visually how they're shooting it, how they're cutting it. Some of the shots in all 3 of these seasons were stunning, just absolutely beautiful, like out of a movie. And it does seem like they're trying to up that game a little bit. And maybe it's because they feel the hot breath of Love Island on the back of their neck. You know, I don't know exactly why they're stepping it up, but I'm glad they are because it is necessary.
I think there's also, been a lot of staff turnover the past few seasons. So I think that might contribute it as well. Our number 14 most grateful moment is a man who is a moment. Charles Ling, America's sweetheart, came out of this Golden Bachelorette season. I believe he will be our second Golden Bachelor. And he is an absolute delight and a character that we have never seen in this franchise before. Yeah. And I hope they make us right. Make us whole.
There's part of me. I agree. I hope that they let him come in exactly as he is. But there's a part of me that wants him to be like, I'm going to be the Golden Bachelor. He gets on HGH. He gets on testosterone. He gets in the gym. He gets jacked. He gets gigantic. He gets chin implants, cheek implants, Botox, fillers, new lips, all of it.
New lips?
Yes. I don't know. Isn't that where
Charles,
you put filler?
Your lips are fine.
I just watched 90 Day Fiance, one of the reunions, where there is this woman, Corona, who's talking to this other woman, Shekinah. And Shekinah in the show has multiple cosmetic surgery procedures.
Yes, the nose
including nose jobs and all this stuff. Yeah, her fiance Sarper designs her nose. So Corona is looking. Did you watch the reunion yet?
No, but I watched the nose job episode.
God, that was hilarious. There's a part where Shekinah is claiming that she has no filler in her face. And this other woman, Corona, is like, I don't know about that. So anyway, it was just funny to me.
Wow.
But she claims that she has filler in her lips, which is why this is germane to this conversation. I thought that's where it went, but I guess it goes all over your face. At any rate, I love Charles Ling. I think he was the funniest, most interesting, seemingly most for TRR, even though I think that's a little bit of an act, player that we have had, at least in any Golden franchise. And I really do want to see what he can do as the anchor of a show, just to see how he can like bounce off of. Again, I want to see some kind of just like bombshell, woman who like lived in LA and was part of the rock scene on the Sunset Strip. To me, that character type versus Charles Ling would be absolutely hilarious.
You have really been manifesting this vision, and I really hope that player comes on his season.
Me too. Or like somebody who was a Playboy playmate in 1986. You know what I mean? Something like that would be
like Charles L is just
amazing.
Getting a lap dance.
Well, somebody who's like an overt kind of chemistry style player, which I think will, I believe, make him a little flustered, a little nervous. You know what I mean? I think that would be fun to see personally. Just my 2 cents.
I just want to see him with big, juicy lips getting flustered.
Yeah. Don't we all want that?
Don't we all want this vision?
I don't think I'm making this up. All right, let's move on to the next thing that we are thankful for. Maybe I'm more thankful for it than you are, PaceCase. But it is, of course.
Maybe.
It's an item that I acquired this year for my Bachelor Museum. I'll show it to you now.
It's gorgeous. Powerful.
Sorry, I had to put my headphone back in. This is my Blake Moynes' semen painting created in Bachelorette season 17. Your Bachelorette was, of course, Katie Thurston. Blake Moynes crashed this season and went on to win the ring this season while creating this beautiful piece of art that ABC thought was so offensive it would not even show you the art. They black boxed this painting, and now I have it here with me.
By the way, just
time.
That shot of you holding it with just your little head coming over the top was so funny.
I can make it weirder. Hang on.
I can make it weirder. You always can, Clues.
There.
Ooh.
No, that's good. This is my Blake Moynes semen painting. It's not his actual semen. It's just white paint on a black canvas, but
I feel like
meant to represent that.
For you, this painting, I put this on the list. So I don't know who's more grateful, because I feel like this was your, like, Kaitlyn Bristowe's Mirrorball was your Seed of Moynes painting. Like, you manifested it for so long. You talked about this painting so much as being one of the main artifacts that you wanted.
Yeah.
And then you made it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Katie Thurston made it happen, but you manifested it. And
listen,
I'm so happy for you.
Every night when I'm astro projecting, all I'm doing is looking for that vial of sand that Nick Viall gave to Andy Dorfman back in Bachelorette season 10. I'm just scouring the earth for it. Where is it? I've been in and out of all of the Warner Brothers prop department warehouses looking for this thing. I haven't yet looked through Nick Viall's personal effects, but I'll get to that when I up my powers. I'll get to
that.
Yeah.
That's on the schedule.
Yeah, develop my astral projection powers enough that I can go through Nick Viall's personal effects just to see if it's there. Obviously,
just go through his collection of vials. You know, you don't have to look everywhere.
Yeah, his necklaces that he gave to other broken engagements. I can't physically interact with any of these objects while astral projecting. I can just look.
Well, looking is the first step to getting, I think.
So they say.
Other things that I feel like we manifested without actually asking for it, but it's a season that was so good that I feel like we made it happen. Yeah. Our number 12 item is Traitors Season 2. We had this third wave reality TV tsunami this year, and watching Pilot Pete compete on Traitors was an absolute delight. And to see him thrive in that environment and become one of the stars, couldn't be prouder to see him represent our beloved game in this way.
Yeah, I totally agree. That season was great. The first season was great. I'm looking very forward to season number 3 coming up January 9th, I believe. But
those posters made me very excited.
Oh, God, I know.
Anya posted them on our social media.
Yeah, check
the Traitors portraits.
And also, if you're just listening to this and you want to see the Blake Moynes semen painting, all you got to do is go to YouTube. Everything we do is always on YouTube as well. I think there were so many third wave shows that were fascinating to me. Traitors was the best among them, I think, due in large part to Alan Cumming, the greatest Dark Lord that has ever worn the cape. But Special Forces is up there too for me in this category, in this what I am thankful for in terms of third wave, because that show so far.
I was like, who are the Dark Lords?
On Special Forces?
They're doing better than Alan Cumming?
No. Those Dark Lords are interesting though. They're all Special Forces military from different like Britain and US and whatever. And they all kind of have their own personalities. One's like super gruff. He's this British guy that's like, if you don't dive to the bottom of that lake and pull that briefcase out of that car, your family's gonna die. That's what you have to think. That's how you get it done. And you're just like, okay, dude, chill. This is like, you're talking to Tara Reid. Chill. At any rate, there's like that guy. There's a guy who's kind of like, the strong silent type, but if you get him mad, he'll like fucking blow up on you. There's another guy who's more like, I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to help you get through this. He's like the American dude. At any rate, they're all good Dark Lords, but that show is dominated by Bachelor so far. 2 seasons, both seasons have had in their championship circle at least one Bachelor player. So far, every Bachelor player who has been in the show has won the show. Now we're going to see what happens next season.
Wait. Ari Lyonick?
He wasn't on Special Forces.
Oh, you're talking about Special Forces.
Yeah. Hannah Brown won season 1.
Okay, I thought you meant the winner circle and traitors, like the fire ceremony thing.
No.
But in traitors as well, Bachelor has performed.
Yes,
Ari
I would say
Lyonick was in the finals.
Yep. Ari Lyonick made it to the finals of season 1, and Pilot Pete was like a pivotal player on season 2. Without him, I'm not sure.
Hosted the finale party.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm talking about even in the game mechanics, without what he was doing kind of mid-season when he took over the Faithful and really started making big calls about like, let's try and get this traitor out, this traitor. Without him doing that, not that it was necessarily overtly self-sacrificial, but it wound up being. Without those plays, I don't know that the Faithfuls win that season.
No. Without him turning down the traitors card?
Exactly. He could have been another Ari.
Yeah.
God. Anyways, that season's coming up January 9th. I'm going to be watching at Clues Corner. Please join me for that. Moving on. Another thing we are absolutely thankful for this year is one Maria Georges. She was a player that, in my opinion, reinvigorated the entire franchise by herself. Season 28 of Bachelor was great for a variety of reasons. She is a big one of them, in my opinion. Her play style involved villainy. It involved chemistry. It involved friendship. It involved dodging villain attacks and villain edits. She kind of did
colorful
everything.
Narration.
Yeah, colorful narration off the charts. She really was a player who was just so captivating that you could not look away from her. And we all obviously wanted her to be the Bachelorette, and she was for 2 or 3 days before she, revoked her willingness to do it. And I'll always wonder what that would have been like, what that season could have been. And I think we all probably will, but I don't think we've seen the last of her by any means. I think she's going to be. I wonder
if we're still going to see that season yet. It's possible. Get that dad back.
God, could we?
Gazing out the window. The only way that happens is no one pops off in Grant's season, which is not good.
Even if no one pops off in Grant's season, she still may not have it.
Above her?
Just pick somebody from Grant's season, even if nobody's popping. I think that we don't know the truth of this. What I'm about to say is simply rumor, but it seems credible to me. She wanted more money, and they were like, fuck you very much. So if that's the case, I think that bridge is probably burned. I don't know that she's ever going to come back to the Bachelor franchise. That said, there's a million other opportunities. We're just talking about this third wave tsunami. She could wind up on Traitors. She could wind up on Perfect Match. She could wind up on, I don't know if she'd do good on Special Forces. Don't do it.
Don't do Special Forces.
Yeah. She could wind up in a variety of places, I think.
I mean, I don't know. Is she the only non-lead to appear on Call Her Daddy? I think she might be.
That I don't know. Possibly. I mean, Natalie Joy. If you want to count her as she's a civilian.
A player?
Yeah.
Kidding me? What's the game, Clues? Is it after the game? Does the game never stop?
No, that's a different game.
I think so. Whatever.
Post-game is a different game. It's the social media game. It's the parasocial game. And Natalie Joy played it very well by sliding into the DMs of one Nicholas Vial, becoming his wife, becoming the mother of his child. Now, I mean, I don't know if they have a prenup or not, but she's entitled to some portion of his vast empire. You don't think they have a
prenup?
I don't know if they do or not. Nicholas Vial comes from that Wisconsin, that down home, that big family, that if you love someone, you love someone. I don't know if he's going prenup.
That's so for TRR, Clues. I don't know about that.
I think he's got a little bit of that in him.
I don't think you get to where he's at without some amount of business savvy. But I don't know. Maybe he's, Maybe we'll find out once you get once you get in that house.
He's got the prenup framed. It's hanging over the toilet in his bathroom.
Somehow the answers will reveal themselves.
When I was engaged, I did a prenup.
Well, when I was a bachelor, everyone said they would sign a prenup, so I guess you gotta.
Yeah.
Is it Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah. You figured out you could sign a prenup, but you never thought if you should. Thank you.
I forgot a piece of our business. We were on your mom and dad podcast this week, and we played D&D. It was my first game ever, and it was super fun and unhinged, and you all should go listen to it or watch it on YouTube.
I agree. I loved it as well, and I had no idea what you were doing at any moment during that, but loved all of it. I was just sitting next to you like, what the fuck is happening?
My accent work did remind me of it.
Perfect.
Look, sometimes you don't think when you commit to an accent that you're going to have to keep it up the whole time. And
yeah,
I had a very, I don't know what I did. I disconnected the brain, and you'll see what
several
happened.
Accents. And you were like, somewhere these almost overlap, right? Somewhere all of these performances coalesce into one
character. Yeah. Well, our number 10 item we're grateful for is we had a lot of amazing interviews this year, but we expanded our reach out of Bachelorverse and into our first Love Island interview, our first The Circle interview, our first Traders interview, our first Vanderpump Rules interview, and our first Perfect Match interviews. Yeah. Huge for Gore.
Absolutely huge. I love being able to talk to players from different disciplines to see how they're treated by the production staff of all these various things, to see how much of the game is real, how much of it is fake. When we were talking to Bergie about Traders, I mean, this is something that I assumed was true, but to hear him actually say it, the clock on the Traders challenges is not real. To have that corroborated by a player is, to me, invaluable.
Not only is time not real, but also the clock on Traders. Wild.
Time isn't real. Neither is the way Traders measures it. Jesus, I'm dying. We're all dying. Let's move on to our number 9 thing that we're thankful for this year. We got our very first Golden Bachelorette. Now, say what you will about the ratings of this season, the reception of this season. Say what you will about Joan Vassos eliminating beds from fantasy suites. Say what you will about these things. But you can't.
The restraining orders.
That's a whole other thing.
Vassos.
Yeah, the restraining orders is on our not thankful for list. But to have the Golden Bachelorette air, I know they put it on Wednesday nights. I know there were a lot of bad things about it. But just to have it in the books that Joan Vassos did it, history is made, and now they see the blueprint. They see what went wrong. Maybe they'll do something different next time. I know there was a lot of hope that it was going to be Leslie Fima. We thought that it for sure was going to be. And I think for a moment it probably was. And then for whatever reason, it got changed. That said,
she wanted too many beds. They said our bed budget is gone.
She wanted just giant bed, no surrounding room, just a giant bed in the middle of a forest. The fact that it's in the history books, for me, I'm always grateful to like whatever players anchor these first shows. We're talking about Alex Michaud. We're talking about Trissa Sutter. We are talking about Gary Turner here. And we are talking about Joan Vassos. It is a monumental task to be the lead of any of these shows, let alone for the first iteration, because there's so much that's unknown there, in terms of like how you do it as a player, but also in terms of how it's going to be received. And so we can't thank Joan Vassos enough for putting the Bachelorette, the Golden Bachelorette franchise on her back and carrying it however she chose to do it. It is your right as a lead to get rid of the beds, to never say a love level, to do it however you want. Whether we agree with that or not, she did it her way, as Jack would have said. She did it
her way.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful for it because in terms of Bachelor's relevance in the culture and how Bachelor can both reflect the culture but also shape it. Golden Bachelorette is super important for combating ageism and being like, people of whatever age are sexy, deserve love. It's are not invisible, kind of Joan's tagline. We'll all be golden, hopefully. So
I'm almost there.
Yeah. Silver clues. I'm
getting there. I'll be 50 in a year and a half.
Ooh, big one. What are you going to do for it?
I don't know. Smoke a joint, watch whatever season of Love Island is on.
Classic.
Thank you.
Speaking of Love Island, our number 8 thing we're grateful for is Love Island USA Season 6. I have watched every Love Island season that has ever been made, except for the most recent Australia one, which I'm going to get to next. And Love Island USA, has had its good seasons, has had good characters, but nothing like this season. And it's a season that got you finally into Love Island. So I'm grateful for that. And just all the players that came out of that. Actually, that ties in with our number 7, Leah Kateb, Janae, Serena, all of PPG, and my Halloween costume, Robert Roush, the snake man.
Don't forget the Dorito Connor. I would also say, Dorito. With regard to this Love Island Season 6, I'm also thankful to you, PaceCase, and to the Pit for finally convincing me to watch this, because it has been an absolute pleasure. I'm almost done with Season 6. It really has been one of my favorite, TV viewing experiences, reality TV or otherwise. It's just a fantastically made show from top to bottom, other than Ian Sterling and his little narration jokes. That's like my one nitpicky kind of thing.
List.
Yeah. No, but I don't begrudge them. Like, it's
a crazy schedule.
Crazy schedule. He's, sometimes not even doing just Love Island USA. He also does UK, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they overlap. So sometimes you're doing multiple shows a day, whatever. I don't begrudge him the quality of these jokes. I just wish they weren't in the show. That's all.
Look, nothing about the quality. I'm not giving a lot of them F ratings on Clues Corner, but
But no, I absolutely love this show, and I'm looking very forward to watching a season as it's airing, which we will be doing this next year in Clues Corner. Whatever that's going to be, Season 7, I guess. Love Island USA Season 7, right? And I'm sure we'll see some repeat players from Season 6 coming through Season 7. If Season 6 is any indication, they had 3 players come back from it.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, Cassie, Goldini, Harrison.
Yeah.
And they all somehow got in like a love triangle,
players.
Or not a love triangle, but there was a moment in the last episode where Cassie has to choose a guy to save from the 2 couples that are up for elimination. And the guys in those couples are Goldini and Rob. All of them have history with each other from the prior season. Mm-hmm. It's just so well pieced together. The producers really know on that show how to exactly put things where they need to be. Yeah, it's just great. Very thankful for it.
We had a couple GOAT interviews this year, and people who would be on the Mount Rushmore of Bachelor crowns, players, etc. But our number 6 most grateful item is the Beast, Hannah Brown, arguably one of the greatest Bachelor players of all time, the female Instagram champion of all time, Hannah Brown. We got to interview her this year. That interview is on YouTube as well. And it was an extraordinary, pinch me moment for me in the history of this podcast.
Yeah, I agree. It was something that, we early on when we first started this would kind of talk about, eventually we're going to be interviewing Hannah Brown. We started our podcast during her season. Episode 6, I think, of her season.
Yeah.
The recap of that episode was our first episode ever. And it was kind of a full circle moment for me to be interviewing her and talking about she talked pretty openly about like gameplay and strategy and producer manipulation and stuff. It was cool to see that she was like down to have that conversation and to just get to that point where it was like, we started this on my couch, high as hell, talking into a handheld recorder one night again in the middle of Hannah Brown's season. And then we are interviewing her about her experience as a bachelorette, an author, everything that has happened after. It was just kind of a very nice moment for me. Yeah, she really did.
Our number 5 thing we're most grateful for this year is Jenn Tran was the first bachelorette to ever propose to her ring winner. Despite how that situation might have played out, this was an extremely historical and important moment. We've never seen this on the show before. And it's, you know, in a world greatly ingrained in patriarchy, it was an extremely nice moment to see in our beloved game.
I agree. And, you know, it's unfortunate that season became what it became, because up to that point, and I'm talking about the after the final rose, basically, up to the point that we see Devin has dumped her and all the stuff with the restraining orders and even the Marcus Schoberg allegations, up until like the end of the season was very well done, I thought. And to cap it with this thing where you allow your bachelorette to make the proposal. I don't know if it was her idea. I don't know if it was a producer's idea, if it was a little bit of both. I have no idea. But the fact remains that's in the document. History was made with Jenn Tran proposing. And I don't know if that door is now open for other bachelorettes to do the same. I don't know if it will be kind of buried for a little while and maybe 5 years, 6 years down the road, we see it happen again. But I will be looking for it now as a possibility. And it's all because of what Jenn Tran did. And, you know, say what you will about that season. I think Jenn Tran was put in an impossible situation, and she made the very best of it. And to have a play like that kind of cap the season off, to me, you can't ask for more.
Yeah. And I think she gave us and also the show this incredible moment, you know. I don't know if, I'm sure producers have asked other people to do it before, but
you think?
She didn't.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah. This is still a very, you know, heteronormative, man does what man does, woman does what woman does type of show. I think this was like,
what do you mean?
Oh my God. I think it's rooted in these, you know, kind of very traditional ideas of who should propose and how the proposal should be done. Always on a knee, you know, all
let
that
me
stuff.
see that rock.
Yeah, let me see that rock. How much was she worth? What's the dollar value? And well, speaking of chalk, our number 4 thing on this list of things we are most thankful for this year is indeed Charles Chalk Chappell. The season he turned in. This is the first season of Golden Bachelorette. We've got him leaving and coming back within a 48 to 72 hour period because of the death of his mother. We've got that hometown where he's planting a tree in her honor with 200 of his closest friends and family out on this ranch. We've got his unbelievable proposal speech. We've got him raising to love level 4, trying to extract it from Joan Vassos before the final rose ceremony. Everything he did this season was just mind-blowing.
From his late fiance's father.
Yeah.
I mean, every element was just so for TRR and playing at 1,000. And, you know, you honestly don't expect the Goldens to be as good at this game as the younger players who are more, you know, online and more in influencer culture, etc.
I agree. I loved everything he did, and it was a pleasure to impersonate him with my strange vocal stylings. I don't think he sounds like that, but nonetheless, I took great pleasure in saying,
I don't think he sounds like this, but
Chalk jacked up this Thanksgiving list. I just liked doing it. And I'm sad that we won't get to do it anymore.
He gave us, you know, Charles wasn't in for that long, and he really carried us through the end of that season.
Absolutely. So thank you, Chalk.
our number 3 thing we're most grateful for is we had our first Asian-American Bachelorette, Jenn Tran. This is a very, very important moment. You know, we've been doing the DWAB for however many years, and this is the first time we have had an Asian American lead, and it is extremely important. And Jenn Tran has talked about like getting hate for how she is speaking Vietnamese on screen, but that's, you know, some of the first representation of that culture and her family. And
yeah, very important moment, long time coming, should have happened obviously far sooner than this, but it has happened. And that's the important thing to take away from it in my book. The Bachelor is, for all the problems this franchise has, it does seem like The Bachelor is trying to change things in the right direction. Are they succeeding every time? Obviously not, but they're trying. And that at least is good. That's better than where it was in the past, where you had a season, what was it, in 2011, where the Bachelor and Bachelorette seasons back to back were 100% white. All the players and the leads, everybody was white. So at least they are moving away from that. At least they are trying. And, you know, I don't think they're doing it perfectly. Obviously, Jenn Tran was not their first choice for Bachelorette. That seems like in a season where you're presenting the first Asian Bachelorette, that should have been a first choice. Instead, she was potentially third choice behind Daisy Kent and Maria Georges. And
even if she's not, a lot of leads have probably not been the first choice, but you don't put it on camera asking the other people first.
Exactly. So they've made missteps. All that said, you know, going back to kind of what I was talking about in the prior thing where we were talking about Jen's proposal, I think what Jenn Tran did, it is a task that no one can do. And she did it. She carried that whole season, really. Having to do the stuff with Sam McKinney, where, oh my God, he's giving me butterflies, all of his chemistry play while he's just speaking in circles about nothing. You know, boiling down to that one moment where she has to be like, look, dude, I just don't believe you. Kick rocks. That arc of the Sam McKinney supremacy was so well done. And it's because of her play in it. Her making it believable that she was into this guy that we could all kind of see as just a nothing, like there's nothing behind the eyes there. But she played that out almost the whole season. She made us believe like maybe he could win. That alone is a performance that, you know, is worthy of some of the greatest bachelorettes in the history of the game. But even beyond that, all of the things she did in this season, and then even, you know, going into Dancing with the Stars, which was a thing that they just kind of threw at her last minute. And she's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. She goes into that and does pretty well. Doesn't win, but like does pretty well. Represented the franchise, represented the nation, I think, in a way that, at least for me, I was like super happy with. And I would just say, I am thankful for Jenn Tran, and I want to thank Jenn Tran for everything she has given to this franchise and to reality TV generally. I just think she's kind of a singular talent that was put in a situation that was impossible to come out on top. Impossible. And she did. The
season wasn't cast for her. It was cast for other people.
That too. Yeah. Like it was cast for Maria.
Such an uphill battle, putting so much weight on her season and pressure. And yeah, it's just unreal.
Yeah, I hope she winds up somewhere else on some other reality show, a Third Wave or something else.
I just
feel like I want to see her be given like a real chance, because I feel like she wasn't given a real chance in her season of Bachelorette. She did as good as she could do, and she did great for sure. But what could she have been if that season would have been built around her instead of just like plugging her into it at the end? At any rate, thank you, Jenn Tran, for everything you have given our beloved game. Oh, yeah, you should do this next one. I believe
based on, by the way, her extraordinary social media play during Dancing with the Stars, that she will be making the most of every opportunity, and I can't wait for her content.
I agree.
Speaking of making the most of your parasocial opportunities while on Dancing with the Stars, our number 2 item we're most grateful for is our interview with the one true GOAT, Kaitlyn Bristowe. Yes, you heard that correctly. That happened this year that we interviewed Kaitlyn Bristowe, and she has been my favorite player of all time. Getting to interview her was literally the dream, my, apex mountain situation.
Yeah.
And, the closest to an out-of-body experience I've had during one of our interviews.
Oh, well, I still haven't had a true out-of-body experience. I was just joking about being able to astrally project into it. Yeah, maybe that's the final piece I need to be able to astral project into his home to see the prenup over the toilet.
I think that...
Let me just type out that email real quick. Interview request for Nick Vial. You are the last piece I need for my astral projection formula so that I can astral project into your home.
Unlock the next dimension.
Find the Andy Dorfman vial of sin. We'll definitely get him on. The Kaitlyn Bristowe interview for me was a big deal too. I mean, she's not my favorite player, or I don't think she's the best player of all time. I think that is Nick Vial, but that doesn't mean I don't think she's great. She is. She's on the Mount Rushmore for sure. What she's been able to accomplish in game and out of game are both incredibly impressive. I would put her up there in the category with Nick Vial as in the conversation for greatest all time, both in game and out. And, to interview her was like, there are certain players that are beyond the game, as it were, who are like historic in a giant way, like Babe Ruth is in baseball, or Mickey Mantle, or Michael Jordan is in basketball, et cetera, et cetera. And she is one of those. And so there was like, to me, it was very cool to have that historical significance lent to our show, that we are interviewing these players who have helped shape the modern game. I hope we get to interview Nick Vial at some point, or he interviews us or something. I hope we just get to have a conversation with him at some point. And I think we will. There might be a time where a relevance shift happens in the Bachelor reality TV podcasting world, where I think the coverage podcasts start to kind of usurp the player podcasts in terms of audience size, engagement, etc. I can see something like that happening in the next 3 years, maybe. And then
2 to 5 at least.
As we're crossing paths on the way up and down, we may interview.
Beautiful prediction from Clues.
That is my prediction.
You're right on this one.
We'll see. Moving on, we have one more thing here that we have put on our list. We're probably thankful for many more things that we've left off this list, but we are very thankful for our live watch parties that we did this season, put together by our fantastic social media manager, Anya. We can't thank her enough for everything she's put in over this almost a year. She's been working on Gore, and specifically the live watch parties would not be happening without her. And we have had so much fun at them. We're going to be back, I think, at the 33 Taps in Silver Lake for Grant Ellis's season starting January 27th of next year. We hope you'll join us, but it has been an absolute pleasure. Like, it's fun to see it just like at a base level. It's fun to watch The Bachelor in a bar with a bunch of other people who love it as much as you do and understand the game mechanics. Base level, it's a blast. Like, that's how I want to watch the show. The level up from that is we get to be there and say crazy shit on microphones in the commercial breaks. That's very fun also. The next level up from that is getting to see and talk to all these people who are in the pit with us. People that like see the show in the same way we do, and who are all there coming out, wearing Gore t-shirts.
Some people have traveled to come visit,
hearing their stories, hearing other people's screams.
Gore-specific costumes for the contest.
Yeah.
And I guess this probably should have been on the list, but ties into this as well. I am so grateful that we got the screeners this year. That is something that we've been manifesting for so long. And it allowed our schedule to not be as stressful and allowed us to have these watch parties because we were able to watch the show before. Yeah. And
thanks to Anya for that as well. She was instrumental in getting those.
It's been a while since I've watched The Bachelor with other people. It's mostly just been me
for real
in my room, just like really late at night. Yep. And this was a game changer. I feel like 2020 Gore really leveled up with this combo.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody who has come out, and just generally, I'm very thankful for the pit existing. I think this next year or 2 or 3 or 4, I'm going to need the goddamn pit real bad. So I am thankful that it exists, that I have a place to retreat to where I can just kind of indulge in this and like get as deep as I want into Bachelor or Traitors or Love Island or whatever the case may be. And I'm thankful for everybody else who's in this pit with me, sending me DMs, putting comments on our Patreon posts. I love reading them. Some of them are absolutely hilarious. And so please continue to do that, everybody in the pit. But hopefully for everybody else who's in this with us, you know, the pit can serve that same function over the course of the next couple of years. Like I said, I know it is going to serve that function for me.
I think will be very important.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, the pit has provided more than I could have ever imagined, and it only gets better. And I'm so grateful to all of our listeners, all of the commenters who have been sounding off. There was a comment. Oh my God, there was one Twibbin Instagram post where I wish I knew the name, but someone commented and was just like, "I'm here just to say that we know about the Sean Lowe eating the sandwich," because we had talked about like, does anyone understand what we're saying? And this person was like, "I know about the sandwich." During Zach Shawgrass's season.
I mean, that's part of, for me, what makes the pit so fun is we go as deep as we can. We're still digging the pit. Always. We will be forever digging this pit, going deeper and deeper and deeper, so that the references, the things that we're paying attention to, the things we're really scrutinizing can be the
lore.
The lore. Okay, sure. We'll call it the lore. But it can be the most minute, bizarre thing in an episode that is completely meaningless to most people, but it ain't to us. It ain't to us. It means everything. I have the semen painting.
I have the semen painting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, most people who watch season 17 of Bachelorette don't even know what was on that painting, let alone want to possess it, let alone possess it. When I say most people, that's all people but me. I'm the only person who is that.
The seed lines is forever in your lovely museum.
Yeah, forever in my lovely museum. That'll be the title of my autobiography. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the special Thanksgiving episode.
Yes.
We have given thanks to many of the things that we find to be very good about this past year. Hopefully this next year has just as many, if not more things. And we thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts for coming on this strange ride with us to the bottom of the pit that just keeps on going.
Strange ride with us. And everyone have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And we love you, and we'll be back next week. Praise be Dark Lord Palmer.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us. And then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.